Hello, hello. I'm Cosmic Jack. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be diving into all things July. I don't know where the hell June went, but we are halfway through the year. I can't believe it. And if you are like me and you feel like this year has been a dumpster fire, you just know you are not alone. That really is the astrology. But the good news is July, some things should start to lift and shift. And I mean, I say this year, but it really goes back and is dating back to like beginning of November. We've kind of been on this 8-month inward transformational journey. And I know for me, like the energy of June, like really felt like the new version of myself was integrated. And it's like, it was almost like the movie, like, I don't know like why this is what's coming through, because I don't even know if this is actually like how I feel. It's like you're sitting in the movie theater. Like I just see people like in the movie theater with their popcorn and they're like watching the previews, and like the movie just never starts. And that's kind of how June felt like. I'm thinking about it. It's like we're ready for the movie. We're ready to watch the movie. We're ready for the show to unfold and play out. Like I'm leading actress. Like I'm here to watch my movie. You know what I mean? But like I'm still just watching the previews and like eating my popcorn and like drinking my Diet Coke and like waiting for the movie to start. And it's like now July, the movie is finally starting. Like that just like is what the energy has been. And June has been so much about nurturing yourself in new ways and loving yourself in new ways. And it's really been this like internal calibration to a new setting point, a new starting point, a new foundation. And this Jupiter and Cancer energy, with Jupiter had moved into Cancer on June 9th, and it's really been so emotional already, honestly. Like I have a new found respect for Cancer energy. But my Jupiter is in Cancer natally in my birth chart, conjunct Chiron. So this really is what I'm here to master. And Jupiter in Cancer really is about feeling forward first and feeling your reality before it plays out. And so that's kind of the energy. It's like, okay, you've been in this movie theater, you're hyped for fucking Mission Impossible to start, you're hyped for the F1 movie, you're hyped for like the new fucking Avengers, like whatever like movie you're going to see, you're like excited and you're waiting with like anticipation, right? And you're like, oh, I wonder how this movie's gonna go down, like what to expect. You're getting excited by the previews. You're like, this looks like a great movie. Oh my God, I fucking love Denzel Washington. I can't wait. We'll see every Denzel movie. Like, can't wait for that movie. Like, I'm just making stuff up, right? But like, that's how the energy has felt. But it's all serving this purpose, because come July, it's like you actually can't be in the energy of the preview anymore. You have to be like in the movie. And because like the movie, like we go on some like we go on a ride, right? We go on a journey in the movie, and you really have to be committed and engaged with the movie. You can't be still stuck in wanting the previews and waiting for the previews and watching the previews when like the movie's unfolding. And so it's like who you were in your past is no longer relevant, is no longer resonant. And so that version of you can't come with you. And so really what June has been is it's had and forced you to feel those feelings and those last kind of stuck remnants of emotion that you can't take into the future with you. And so June was such like a calibration month, and it's for me, I'm calling in so many like very specific things in my life right now, and For me, it's really required me to nurture my inner child in so many different ways. Cancer, now we're in Cancer season, right? We just had the new moon in Cancer, Jupiter's in Cancer. It's really the inner heart. It is your inner sense of security, your inner sense of safety. It is how safe you feel taking action and fucking shit up in the world and being your authentic self, and how, you know, comfortable you feel blooming and blossoming into who you're meant to be. It is how safe you feel in vulnerability. It is how safe you feel expressing love, being in joy, being in play. Like, vulnerability and joy are so like exposing, right? And can feel really uncomfortable if you don't have that inner base of safety and security with yourself. And so it's really like tending to your inner heart and really reconciling that and giving to yourself that inner nurturement and that inner support that you need to really trust yourself and really be able to go for the things that you deeply desire in your life. And that really looks like taking care of your body. You know, Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is your body. It is your subconscious, and it is your inner child. And so so much of the growth game is about tending to your nervous system and expunging emotions. And if I could deduce like everything I've learned in my spiritual journey down, I would be: feel the emotions you're avoiding, tend to your nervous system, and balance and calibrate your inner masculine and feminine. And if you just do like those three things, your life would be in a completely different place. And you know, your heart is really the bridge of where the masculine and the feminine meet, right? Your lower three chakras are the masculine chakras, the upper three chakras are the feminine chakras. Your heart is the bridge. And your heart is the bridge for really the 3D and the 5D. It's where your higher self, your inner child live. It is where your electromagnetic field and your frequency exists. And so really, when we're talking about Cancer and Cancer season and this next year journey of Jupiter in Cancer, it really is a reclamation of your fucking heart and healing like your inner father and your inner mother. And when you do that, you really heal the relationship you have with God, source, universe, and with your creatorship, because we really learn how the world works when we're little. And then, you know, we go out and we think and we assume that that's how, you know, life gets to be for us. And so if you're not really experiencing the deepest levels of love and joy and happiness, it's like, where do we need to like rewrite and rewire some things within our inner child, within our heart, so that we can really take back our power as the creator and really feel into a new future. And you know, just feeling your feelings, you can transform your life just feeling your feelings and really feeling into the future that you want to create. I mean, I've transformed my body, I've transformed my life, I've transformed my relationships, my appearance, confirmation, just by literally feeling my feelings. Like, it's profound. I mean, the first 30 years of my life, I was like completely like just zipped up. I had no emotions. And so I really had to like come into my body and rebuild my body from more of a feeling perspective. And, you know, in the last 8 months, I've really gotten more in touch with my like feeling intuition, you know, like really learning to trust my feelings. And it's like so crazy because, you know, I used to be more like clairaudient and claircognizant, you know, I would just like hear things and know things. And now it's like the more that you can just like heal your heart and really turn on your like inner mother, you know how it's like the inner mother, like the intuition. It's like the mother bear out in the forest, just like feeling like the threats of a predator, you know? It's like my intuition has become a lot more like divine feminine, like piranha. It's like the mother has turned on, the goddess has turned on, the queen has turned on. And it's like with that comes new intuition and new abilities, and it's like really trusting your feelings and trusting your emotions and not letting your ego and your mind like gaslight you out of your feelings. And also for just really learning to move through your feelings and really being like your own safe space, your own daddy, to really allow yourself that safe space to really nurture and tend to your emotions, because women who have emotional control and strong emotional foundations are so powerful, are so freaking powerful. And so when you can learn to harness your emotions, to hone your emotions, to not be wobbled and wavered and like deetered off track by your emotions, and really learn to allow them to move through you. And not only that, but feel into the future version of yourself that, feels everything that you already want to desire. That's like literally how you quantum create. It's like, right, the version of you who has the husband, has the family of their dreams, they're not in worried frequency about it, right? They're not like trying to control an outcome. They're not in insecure attachment, right? And so it's like, you got to actually allow those feelings of insecurity, of doubt, of fear that you're never going to find the love, or the fear of the heartbreak, or the fear of abandonment. You have to feel those feelings because you have to expunge them from your body, because that version of yourself who has what you want isn't feeling those emotions. And so you have to move through those emotions in your body first in order to align with that identity and with that reality of yourself that has exactly what you want. And so it's really learning to work with your emotions and not be afraid to hold yourself in the depth and intensity of what it takes to transform, because transformation happens. It's an inside job first, and then you see it reflected in the external reality. And so that's really why we've kind of been in this like holding pattern, because it's like we've been having to go through the emotions of the trailer for a long time, like we've just been watching a trailer for like 8 months. And so, imagine how many fucking trailers you can watch in 8 months. And so now is like the big shebang, right? And so any of those emotions that you felt watching any of the probably trillion trailers you watched can't come with you to the big show, to the big time, to the Super Bowl, right? Like it's that sort of energy. And so it's really being okay and trusting that process. And it's like, it's really trusting your energy to create what you want, because when you're embodied in the frequency of your future self, you're not worried about what's happening in your 3D reality, because you know that the movie is eventually going to play and you're not going to be stuck in trailer land forever, right? And sometimes, can we just have fun watching the fucking trailers? I like watching a trailer. I'm the person who gets to a movie on time because I'll watch the fucking trailers. You know what I mean? And so can we just be content and happy just watching trailers until inevitably the big shebang starts? And, it's really, I feel like July, the energy is going to, and really through the rest of the year, like the energy is going to start to move so fast. Like it really, really is. It always happens that way with summer and like the second half of the year anyway. But this year, it really is going to be like that. So, really through September, like September's a pretty chaotic astro month, and really that's like 2 months away. And we start July, we're closing out Uranus and Taurus right now, which is all about embodiment. I wouldn't be surprised if we see collectively a lot of earthquakes, a lot of shakeups happening with Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus. Just things with the stock market happening, things with the financial system happening this week, because that's the energy of Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus. And really at the end of any planet, at the end of any sign, right? So it's been hovering at this 29th degree for a while, and it's really put pressure on you to embody safety, security, trust, support. I always say Taurus is Mother Nature. She's divine feminine. She is so abundant. She's full of riches and overflow, and it's all about the sensual pleasures, and she's so freaking abundant and lush and beautiful and serene, and it's really about embodying that grounded goddess nature energy, right? There's a reason why nature is so fucking regulating for our bodies and nervous systems. And so it's about attuning to that frequency internally, because when you're grounded in yourself and you're sure of shit and you're solid in who you are, nothing outside of you, you're not getting wobbled in the fucking hurricane, right? You're not getting wobbled in the earthquake. So it's like, that's the energy, and that is your power, is like being solid in the midst of the chaos of the change and transformation. And that's really the fucking flex, right? And so when Uranus goes into Gemini on July 7th, the energy is gonna really fucking shift. And we're gonna see this play out very collectively within the US. I mean, the US's chart is getting fucking lit right now. But, you know, in just the US history alone, transits that have, I mean, the US was born with Uranus and Gemini. It was, the Declaration of Independence was signed during Uranus and Gemini. The Civil War happened with Uranus and Gemini. World War II happened with Uranus and Gemini. And so now we're stepping into another Uranus and Gemini transit. And, you know, we all know, like, things are unsettling. And there's a lot happening, a lot of conflict happening worldwide. Israel also having the Uranus return. So it's going to be an interesting time collectively. But with Uranus and Gemini comes like new technology, new ways of communicating, new connectedness, new connections. So it's going to be an opportunity for society to really advance a lot. Like a lot of like AI, a lot of learning, a lot of adapting to new methodologies, a lot of stirring up of ideas. You know, probably like we'll be able to, I don't know, like teleport by the end of this transit. Like there's just like new methods of like transportation, new methods of communication, new technology, just new ways of doing things. Like the systems are probably going to shift and change. So don't get too comfy, like what in your routine, you know what I mean? Because it's all going to fucking shift when Uranus moves into Gemini anyway. You know, I always talk about really this with like refrigeration. I mean, like refrigeration has only been around like 100 years. And think about, because Uranus first goes through Taurus, right? Because Uranus and Taurus wants to make sure that you have solid foundations so that when it comes into Gemini, you can then be grounded and solid to reinvent and evolve, right? And revolutionize. And, you know, like as soon as our asses got out of the fucking fields with thanks to refrigeration, think about how fast technology has advanced in the last 100 years, right? Like that's just how fast technology, our like collective consciousness can evolve and expand and grow when you have a foundation of safety and resources, and that all of my needs are provided for and taken care of, right? And so like one invention like that can change like so much in the lives of everyone, because it took our consciousness out of, you know, needing to survive and find food and find resources and find shelter and find safety. And it's like, okay, well then how fast have we advanced as a society? And so, you know, with Uranus and Gemini, consciousness is going to expand so rapidly. And if you don't have a solid foundation within yourself that Uranus has been trying to get you to embody and build for the last 7 years, this is when you're gonna start to like bumble and fumble and wobble and, you know? And so it's really important for you to really know how to self-soothe and self-nurture and make yourself feel safe. And all of that is about embodiment, right? And so it's going to be a really interesting time. We're going to look back and be like, oh, damn, like life really fucking shifted. And I mean, I can say, looking back just on the last 7 years of my own life, like, who the hell is that person? Who is she? And that is just Uranus forces you to awaken through its transit. So wherever Gemini is going to get an awakening. Congrats. So triple circle that in your chart. If you have any mutable signs, the beginning of Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces, Uranus is going to be making you all sorts of restless. I mean, I've had Jupiter, Neptune, and Saturn in a T-square with my natal Uranus. My natal Uranus is at 1 Capricorn, and I'm like, maybe I'll just like move to fucking, I don't know, Europe. Like I am getting so restless, wanting to just like 180 my life, and that is just what a Uranus aspect and transit does. Like I'm like, well, maybe I'll just like completely do a 180 pivot. Like I don't know, like maybe I'll just like, and then I like tell myself, I'm like, maybe the 180 pivot for you is like to actually settle down, because like my Sag energy is like always wanting to like pick up and move across the world. And I'm like, maybe the 180 pivot for you with Uranus and Taurus is to like settle down a little. I mean, I could never actually like, the settle down energy is like not what I mean, but like it's like maybe for you the shift is actually in grounding and not like, completely pulling out the rug. So I just am like laughing at myself and like how Uranian I naturally am. And like that is just what I have learned about myself, and I laugh about all the time with my friends, is like people always meet me during Uranus transit because I really embody Uranus frequency. I'm ruled by Uranus as an Aquarius rising. I have Uranus in my 12th house opposing my moon. So my body has been an electric rod. And so people always have awakenings in life. People's lives always shift when I come into their lives. That's just what it is. So if you really just want the key to quantum leap your life, just get in my energy field, because your life will fucking shift. But that's the energy, right? Like it's like your life is going to shift this month. So are you prepared and are you ready for it? Because Uranus, you can never really expect what it is. Like the only thing that you can expect with Uranus is the unexpected. And so it's like you're taking center stage in your life, and you thought you signed up at the beginning to go see the Avengers movie, but maybe really what's playing is The Notebook. And that's the 180 pivot. And you're like, damn, I thought I was going to see an action and adventure movie. And instead, I'm watching this my life is now a rom-com? Like, that's the fucking 180 pivot that Uranus serves you. And so you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for the changing of the guard, changing of the tide. And, we also have Neptune and Saturn stationing retrograde in Aries. And so that feels like it's like, pulling back the veil. And really having you get serious on your new identity and where you're going, and really doubling down on things. We have a full moon in Capricorn, which, we had the new moon in Capricorn December 30th. So it's really been 6 months that you set your New Year's intentions, your New Year's resolutions, whatever. And it's like July 10th with the full moon in Capricorn. This is actually a pretty chill full moon. It's trine Mars and Virgo. Saturn will station retrograde shortly after. Saturn is the ruler of the full moon, of course, in Aries. And so Saturn always makes you want to check in, daddy dearest. It's like, have you been putting in the work? And then with Mars in Virgo, Virgo gets to fucking work. Like Virgo's a fucking workhorse. Mars and Virgo, like these people are like work-a-fucking-holics. And they're not afraid to do the goddamn work, and they're willing to do what it takes to have the success of Capricorn, right? I always say that Virgo helps you achieve the success of Capricorn. Like it's like your day-to-day habits, routines, systems, structures, behaviors that allow you to achieve the legacy. And like with Virgo, it's also about your health and your wellness, because in order to be wealthy, you have to be well and healthy, right? And so it's like, what's the point of having the success if your body's not healthy to enjoy it? That's not success to me. Like those people who are super successful from stress, it's like, let's not forget that the South Node is in Virgo. It's like, if you're overriding your body's cues and signals, like it will manifest physically in your body. And that's why having that kumbaya relationship with your body is so important, because your body's going to tell you everything that you need to know, because everything that manifests physically is an energy first. So if something is happening in your physical body, what is the emotional energy associated with it? So it's a good gut check point to be like, okay, like what do I need to double down to commit to? What has been working? What has not been working? And Virgo really helps you fine tune and adapt and improve. So use that Mars and Virgo to really not try to control things, but plan better, behave better, operate better, build better systems and structures to support you. So that, you know, your dreams can be supported. You can feel supported on your way to the top. So we also have the new moon in Leo. We love a new moon in Leo. I love Leo energy. Actually, before we get to the new moon in Leo, Mercury is stationing retrograde in Leo. So we do have a Mercury retrograde, as well as a Saturn retrograde, as well as a Neptune retrograde. So there's going to be 3 planets stationing retrograde in fire signs. I don't know. I find that so funny. I mean, I do know I thought so. People are gonna like shooting fireworks out of their fucking hearts, right? Like retrograde in fire is like in like just picture like internal pitta, internal heat, internal fire wanting to come out, right? And so what happens when people don't, again, going back to the health of the body, when people don't work out the pitta that they have in their body, it explodes in the forms of emotions, of overreactions, of impulsivity, right? Manifests as freaking everything in your body is really, that turns into disease, like stems from inflammation, right? Like 80% of disease is caused by stress and inflammation. So it's like, you gotta take care of your body this month, because you take care of it every month, but when there's so much like energy getting pulled back, like I'm seeing like a wave pull, like a fire pit getting like pulled back, like you can go a little out of the bounds of the fire pit kind of energy. So really hone the fucking fire and don't let it like blow out of control, right? Because the fire will fucking spread really fast when we're emotionally reactive and impulsive. So that Mercury in retrograde in Leo, you know, it's like you have to like update everything in your life with this new version of yourself, you know, like when you have a new identity, like you're probably going to dress differently, right? Like you maybe your hair is different, maybe your brand is different, maybe your style is different, maybe like you need to give yourself a makeover, maybe you need to upgrade your home. Like there's certain things that need to be like rebranded in your life with this energy, and to go along with your new identity and like with the new movie, you know, like if you are dressing as Superwoman, that might not work in the new rom-com of your life. And so it's like, where do you need to like rebrand and like reprioritize your image, so to speak, because Leo's the movie star. And you know what? When I pulled cards and the 6 of Wands shot out of the fucking deck. So it's like, if you're gonna rebrand yourself as the fucking movie star, right, of your new rom-com. We went from an action hero to like a rom-com. Or maybe if your life has been a rom-com, now you're going into action hero. But you need to rebrand. You have to have a rebrand for the movie that you're now starring in, because it's a whole different movie. Like I'm telling you, it's like a 180 pivot. It's like I used to be crazy and now I'm romantic, and I have to like adapt to that. Like I used to be the wild child, I used to be the traveler, I used to be the superhero. And now like I'm a dog mom, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. Like it's like a pivot like that. Like there's like a huge pivot that's happening this month. And with that can be, because we have this like this 10 of Swords with the 3 of Swords with the 7 of Cups. It can bring, when your life shifts, right, it can bring up a lot of emotion, because a lot of your old patterning cannot come with you. So let's say you get into a new relationship, right? A lot of your emotions that you didn't have access to when you were perpetually single gonna surface, right? And so, and two, like you might just be like, wow, I'm now in this relationship and all my friends are on a yacht in the south of France with all these random dudes, and I can no longer do that. And I'm happy with my new man, but it's like you're mourning like the single version of you. And so that some of that can happen when we like do a 180 and we welcome in so much change. It's like you really have to release and almost mourn and grieve like that loss of like the old version of yourself, even though like everything that you desire is coming in. It does require, you know, a shift in your energy, a shift in your behaviors, just like it's like a shift in your life. And you know, with Cancer and Leo season this month, there's so much like romance energy. It's like our hearts are yearning and burning for this new love, for this new rom-com, for this passionate new superhero beginning, like whatever that looks like for you, like because you're building to this new, let me just show you the rest of the cards. We're building to this new passionate, like we're rebalancing our energy field. And although it's bringing us so much abundance, so much new opportunity, so much more of what we want, right? Like we're literally embodying, like, remember how I said I was like integrating like mother energy and goddess energy and queen energy? It's like we're now like we're getting like crowned queen, you know what I mean? We're the homecoming queen of our own like rom-com and our own movie, and we're stepping out onto center stage of our own life. But with that first comes like mourning the version of yourself. And you know, a queen is going to have different standards than like the princess, right? A woman is going to behave differently than like the wild child girl of your 20s. And so it's like you have to actually approach your life from this new kind of like adult throne queen, the queendom of the throne, you know, like a queen is behaving very differently than princess treatment. You know what I mean? Like princess treatment is cute, but like we're queen. So, and the queen is a ruler, like she rules, right? And so when you're a princess, you might have gotten to fuck around and like do a lot of things and be a little bit whiny and like demanding. And it's like, yeah, but you're a queen now, and queens don't behave and operate that way. And so, you know, now that you're embodying this like new queen archetype and you're now have a lot more fucking eyes on you, it's like you actually have to have new boundaries, have to have new standards, and those low frequency energies that you used to be operating from can't come with you. So it's a perfect month to change your life, really, and I'm excited for it. If you want support, really upgrading your standard of relationship, of your identity as a woman, like stepping into your womanhood, upgrading your beauty, upgrading your body, your bank account, baby. All of these are internal energetics of how you view, value, and see yourself. And really shifting your life is about changing your identity. And women, we're not taught how to be women. And women's standards are really on the fucking floor when it comes to relationship. And so I have really observed and witnessed so many women in my life not understand how to approach relationship as a woman, not understand how to prioritize her life with herself at the center, not understand how to uphold standards, not understand how to meet their own emotional needs, not understand how to break free of their patterns in relationship, and really just set the bar so much fucking higher for what they're allowing into your life, because you know you get in life what your standards are. And so too many women have their standards on the fucking floor when it comes to relationship, because they're not fully understanding that emotional foundation, that emotional control piece, and really valuing themselves as the queen and really embodying themselves as like that frickin' high priestess queen, right? Valuing their energy in such a way, because your body, like, this is why it like Taurus is like divine feminine, and it's also about like money and self-value and self-worth, because you know all of your resources, everything that is provided for you, all of the abundance, all of the riches, all of the money, are about how you internally embody your own value system. And so if you don't have the standard of a relationship that you want, it's because we're not embodied in that divine feminine queen, and really secure and cherish it in my value and your value and how you see, view, and value yourself. And so inside the standard, we are just going to shift all of that and really catalyze you into your next level version of your womanhood, of your queendom, and really reclaim your life as you at the center. So it's gonna really transform you. It's gonna be a 10-week container. So end the summer as your most embodied high priestess, high valued woman, and it's going to be so fun, and we're really going to shift and transform your life, your relationships, and your internal energetics. So it's also for the woman who wants to develop their intuition further and really connect to your own higher self, who has all of the answers that you're looking for. So it's going to be a fun container for the summer, really stepping into the queen and into your new standard and level of living. And yeah, so I'm also enrolling in my one-on-one mentorship and coaching program. If you want customized and catered support, really revolutionizing your life, turning your intuition on, becoming the woman of your dreams, and really want hands-on, high-touch support, that's high value. You can enroll in that as well. You can also book a one-on-one session if you want clarity into your goals, into where you're at, and how to really bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be by the end of the year, and really get clarity on how to rebalance some of those masculine and feminine pieces, like really learn how to love and nurture on yourself, and really come away with a lot of tangible takeaways and action steps that you can implement to move the needle in your life. You can also book a one-on-one session. Be sure to follow me on my Substack. I do lots of updates on there as well. But get ready, because your life is going to be in a completely different place by end of July and moving into the end of the year. So it's a good gut check point, halfway point of the year. Where do you want to be in 6 months' time, and work backwards to make it happen. So sending you so much love, and enjoy your movie. Bye.